Orally transmitted teachings, Ongi Kuden, in Japanese on Buddhism Lesson 20 The Three Great Masters, Makiguchi, Toda, Ikeda Part 1, Makiguchi, Toda, the founding fathers of the Soka Gakkai. At the origins of the Soka Gakkai lie three people. What am I saying? Three grand masters, Tsunasaburo Makiguchi, Josei Toda, Daisaku Ikeda. This is to say that the status of the third great esoteric law and the ordering of the three great esoteric laws with which the Soka Gakkai is endowed is not at all usurped. To understand this state of affairs, a brief presentation of what their life as bodhisattvas on earth who appeared to accomplish the work of the Buddha is necessary. Makiguchi Kenpon. From the outset, it must be said that Kenpon is a Japanese word referring to Grand Master. The title of Kenpon was once given by emperors to monks who are believed to have been the spiritual beacons of their time. This is how Dengyu received the title of Kenpon. That being said, who is Makiguchi? The answer to this question will make it possible to better understand his work as a bodhisattva on earth. Who is Makiguchi? Makiguchi's membership in the Soka Gakkai is undoubtedly the result of his family life, his teaching career, as well as the catalyst for his learned literary output. Makiguchi, a pupil and then a student. Tsunasaburo Makiguchi was born in 1871 in Niigata, northwest Japan. A brilliant student, qualified as a genius, he brilliantly passed the normal school entrance exam at the age of 19. In 1893, after graduating, he was recruited by a primary school annexed to the normal school. His family life married at a very young age. Makiguchi is the father of many children. 2 of them will die. His bibliography. His bibliography, although essentially limited to 2 books, is nevertheless remarkably profound. The Geography of Human Life, Jinsei Chirigaka, in Japanese The Geography of Human Life, his first book, was published in 1903. A book in which he criticizes the classic teaching methods and proposes a new learning technique on humanism and which highlights the learner's own qualities. This book was well received by critics and the world of education. The Pedagogy of Generating Values from November 18, 1930 and at the rate of 1 volume per year until 1935, The Pedagogy of Value Creation, his major book. In this book, Makiguchi elaborates an original theory of creating value. The American scholar Noah Brahmans, who has studied Makiguchi's theory, thinks that Makiguchi's theory is intended to be a rectification of Plato's philosophy, which defines the 3 values as truth, goodness and beauty, substituting benefit for truth. Indeed, truth cannot be considered as a value. Truth exposes what is, value connects man to the object. The truth says, "This is a horse," valor says, "The horse is beautiful." His conversion to Buddhism. His membership in the Nichiren Shoshu in 1928, Makiguchi converted to Buddhism. At the origin of his conversion lay a school supplies agent, a member of a group of lay people of the Nichiren Shoshu. The latter, seduced by Makiguchi's inquiry of spirit, introduced him to Mitomi Sake, the director of a business school. Makiguchi, impressed by the philosophy of Buddhism expounded by Mr. Sake, decided to convert to Buddhism. His work as a bodhisattva on earth, coming to fulfill the work of the Buddha, the creation of the Soka Gakkai, the publication of Volume 1 of the Pedagogy of Values in 1930 was an opportunity for a group of people composed mainly of teachers and educators, on the initiative of Josei Toda, to meet regularly to discuss the philosophy of values. In 1936, under Makiguchi's rule, the first summer courses were held at the main Teisei-ji-ki temple. In 1937, 60 people met in a restaurant in Tokyo and decided to give their association a name, Society for a Value-Creating Education, Soka Gakkai. The act of creating the Soka Gakkai had thus been made. In 1940, the Soka Gakkai, which now had 400 members, filed its articles of incorporation with the Japanese authorities. The Soka Gakkai is presided over by Tsunasaburo Makiguchi, assisted by a general manager, Josei Toda. From this moment on, the memberships multiplied. The socio-political context plagued by imperial military expansionism. Japan engaged in World War II during the Meiji era. From 1867 to 1915, Japan became the leading economic, industrial and military power in Southeast Asia. This new status of the Empire of the Rising Sun will unfortunately induce a militaristic policy, undoubtedly the most atrocious in the history of Southeast Asia. Japan, in fact, seized the following islands and territorial entities: Formosa in 1895, Leuta Peninsula in 1905, Korea became a colony in 1900, Manchuria in 1932. Engaged in World War II alongside the Axis powers, Germany and Italy. From 1941 to 1943, practically all of Southeast Asia fell into its hands. On December 7, 1941, following the aggression of Pearl Harbor, the United States entered the war. His vigorous opposition to the dominant military nationalist ideology, the achievement of Hosaku Kenpon Makiguchi insisted on the need to admonish the state in order to avoid the destruction of Japan. Makiguchi, who did not see a victory for Japan, but rather a crushing defeat, a ruin for Japan, spoke up: "It is necessary to remonstrate with the state. Japan runs great risks. If we do not do it now, Japan will suffer a deplorable defeat." November 2, 1941, at the general meeting of the Sakugakai. Upon the announcement of this arrest, the Nichiren Shoshu excommunicated the Sakugakai. Makiguchi, destroyed by the inhumane conditions of detention, dies in prison. Despite the extreme conditions of detention, Makiguchi's faith in the Lotus Sutra did not waver. Through a reference to a passage on the pacification of the country through the establishment of the correct law, Keimoku Sho, the original version, he becomes fully aware of his mission as a bodhisattva on earth. Weakened, malnourished, and crushed by the harsh conditions of detention, Makiguchi fell seriously ill and died on November 18, 1944. Thus, had just gone, the only Japanese who fought the good fight during World War II. However, before his enlivenment, Makiguchi took care to pass the torch of Buddhism to his pupil and disciple, Josei Toda. Josei Toda. Upon Makiguchi's death, the Kosen Rufu fell to Josei Toda, who lived and learned alongside his master Makiguchi. Josei Toda, the disciple of Makiguchi. Josei Toda decided to become the disciple of Makiguchi. Josei Toda was born in 1900 in Atsuta on the island of Hokkaido. After reading an article in a newspaper about an extraordinary educator who was severely critical of an imperial edict on education, he was amazed and decided to meet him. This meeting proved fruitful for him. Because not only will Makiguchi offer him a teaching position, but also Josei Toda will decide to become his disciple. Josei Toda, Makiguchi's faithful disciple and collaborator. Josei Toda remained loyal to his master even in the most difficult moments. Throughout the period of preparation for Makiguchi's major book entitled The Pedagogy of the Creation of Values, he worked closely with his master. Consequently, Toda was in the same way as his master at the origins of the Sakugakai. That he would be arrested and imprisoned in 1943 alongside his master is therefore no surprise. Josei Toda performed Hosaku Kenpon. The firm resolved to perform Kosen Rufu at the announcement of his master's death. What a loneliness I was when I lost the support I was leaning on, the light that guided my path night after night. I could only weep, thinking of you. Please forgive me, although I have often been an ungrateful son and an untrustworthy disciple. I make a firm decision to dedicate my life to world peace, because I was able to deepen the philosophy of Nichiren Daishonin during my years in prison. We can see, on January 9, 1945, at the announcement of the death of his master in prison, Josei Toda, rather than sinking into defeatism, took the firm resolution to work for the advent of world peace through Kosen Rufu. Deep reflection on the reconstruction of the Sakugakai. Josei Toda decided to base the reconstruction of the Sakugakai on the deepening of the understanding of Buddhism by the members of the Sakugakai, given that the persecution suffered instead of being an additional cause for the strengthening of their faith, had rather pushed them to do Tai-ten, that is, to abandon Buddhism. Hosaku Kenpon reinvigorated outside the prison universe. On July 3, Josei Toda is released from prison. He is physically weakened due to the extreme conditions of detention. He suffers from malnutrition, asthma, pulmonary disease, heart failure, diabetes, is practically one-eyed. I will never forgive authoritarianism and power for breaking the most righteous man, Makiguchi. I will surely prove my master's justice and truth to the whole world. These words are indicative of the fact that from now on Josei Toda's only leitmotif will be to make the truth of his master, that is to say to make the Lotus Sutra triumph. Under the dictation of the Americans, Japan adopted a constitution that guaranteed freedom of worship. This new situation allowed Toda to strengthen the organizational foundations of the Sakukiwaiku Gakkai, which had since become the Saku Gakkai. In August 1952, Josei Toda, who officially became the president of the Saku Gakkai, formalizes the religious organization. On May 19, 1952, a Gahanzan, at the request of Josei Toda, is registered for the Saku Gakkai. Josei Toda established the Gongyo model and 5 morning and evening prayers. In collaboration with the 59th retired administrator Hori Nikiko, in April 1952, a Gosho Zenshu was published. It is a corpus of 406 epistles and treatises by Nichiren Daishonin. It is 1,089 pages long. Achieving the goal of 750,000 families converting to Orthodox Buddhism. In March 1958, the Saku Gakkai has 750,000 practicing families. Josei Toda has therefore achieved his goal. No region of Japan has remained on the sidelines of the Kosen Rufu movement. On April 2, 1950, after a last Tozan, a pilgrimage bringing together 200,000 practitioners to Teisei-ji-ki, Josei Toda entered nirvana. Like his master, Josei Toda prepared his succession and the sustainability of the Saku Gakkai by coaching a young man, Daisaku Ikeda, who succeeded him upon his death. After ingesting this educational capsule, it will be possible for you to deepen your knowledge on this theme by referring to my sutras or writings of a Buddha, in Sanskrit, where it is developed at length. These sutras are available, in French, the original version, in American English and in German in paperback and Kindle books on all Amazon sales sites. Regarding the Amazon KDP links to my sutras, please refer to my TikTok or Facebook profiles or even to Lesson 11 of my teachings. All my videos are compiled on my 3 YouTube channels, Kosen Rufu TV, English Kosen Rufu TV and Kosen Rufu Well. For the links to these channels see my bio or type the title of the channel of your choice in the Google search bar.